There is a moment many people know without ever speaking about it. A quiet pause at the end of the month when you open your banking app and feel a slow tightening in your chest. You already sense what you're about to see, but there is always a small, unreasonable hope that this time will be different. And yet, the number staring back at you looks familiar, too familiar, shrinking no matter how hard you work. You sit there for a moment, not angry at first, just tired, wondering how money keeps slipping away as though it has a life of its own. Your mind begins its search for something to blame. Perhaps your salary is too low, perhaps the economy is impossible, perhaps life is simply determined to make things harder for you than for everyone else. These explanations bring temporary comfort, but they never lead to change. Eventually, when the frustration settles and you run out of external reasons, a quieter truth begins to surface. The truth nobody enjoys discovering, but everybody eventually meets if they're brave enough. The real issue is not your income. It is your character. Not your moral worth or your goodness, but the internal blueprint that silently shapes how you handle money long before the money reaches your hands. It's the impulses you give into when you're stressed, the beliefs you inherited without questioning, the discomfort you avoid, the stories you tell yourself about what you deserve or don't deserve, the emotional impulses you soothe with spending rather than understanding. These invisible forces, more than any economic condition, dictate the financial reality you live in. Money doesn't disappear mysteriously. It follows the structure of the person managing it. If your inner world is disorganized, emotional, avoidant, or driven by comfort rather than clarity, then your outer financial world will mirror that chaos. The irony is that the very patterns that protect your comfort in the moment are the same ones that quietly steal your future. And yet, this truth is not meant to shame you. In fact, it is the most freeing truth you can discover. Because if it is your character that creates your financial patterns, then it is also your character that can be rewritten. You are not trapped by the way you have behaved so far. You are simply operating from an internal design that was never examined or updated. Your transformation begins with understanding yourself more gently and more honestly. When you notice the urge to spend, the goal is not to judge but to pause long enough to ask what you're feeling beneath that desire. Most spending is emotional, not practical. Stress, boredom, loneliness, frustration, all of these emotions quietly disguise themselves as needs. The moment you recognize the feeling rather than reacting to it, the impulse begins to lose its force. This small act of awareness creates space, and in that space, you regain control. Then there is the shift from willpower to structure. Many people believe they need stronger discipline to save money, when in reality they need fewer opportunities to fail. Automation is one of the most powerful tools for this. When you set your savings to move automatically before you have the chance to spend anything, you remove the emotional fluctuation from the equation. You no longer rely on how disciplined you feel that day. The system does the work for you. Over time, this simple habit shapes a new identity. You become someone who saves consistently, without strain. Another shift happens when you let go of the belief that you will save once you earn more. This mindset is one of the greatest traps in financial behavior. Saving does not begin with abundance, it begins with intention. Someone who cannot save €10 will not magically save €1,000. Someone who cannot save under pressure will not suddenly save under freedom. Saving is not about capacity, it is about identity. Even saving a tiny amount is enough to begin reshaping the person you are becoming. You also begin to create emotional separation from your impulses by planning ahead. When you decide that unplanned purchases simply don't happen, you introduce a level of intentionality that slowly dissolves the pull of impulsive spending. Time brings clarity, and clarity often reveals that the desire was never as strong as it felt in the moment. Planning allows your rational mind to guide your decisions instead of letting your emotions make choices on your behalf. Growth also requires you to confront your relationship with comfort. Comfort is gentle, familiar, and seductive, but it is also incredibly costly. It encourages shortcuts, quick pleasures, and effortless avoidance. Yet most of the progress that changes your life happens in the moments where comfort must be set aside. When you choose to cook instead of ordering, to read instead of scrolling, to plan instead of drifting, you are strengthening the character that builds wealth. Little by little, you replace the habits that drain you with habits that build you. Another essential shift comes from facing your financial truth without flinching. Many people avoid tracking their expenses because they fear what the numbers will reveal. But avoidance only deepens the problem. When you finally allow yourself to see everything clearly, where money flows, where it leaks, where emotions take over, you reclaim your power. Numbers don't judge you, they guide you. They turn confusion into understanding, and understanding into control. The environment around you also shapes your financial identity more than you realize. If the people you spend the most time with normalize emotional spending, impulsive choices, or financial chaos, then these habits start to feel natural, even if they harm you. But when you intentionally surround yourself with people or ideas that reflect discipline, planning, and long-term thinking, your habits begin to shift simply through exposure. Identity is contagious. And finally, one of the most transformative changes involves replacing destructive habits with what could be called positive addictions, activities that give your mind the dopamine it seeks, but in ways that build your future instead of weakening it. Learning, reading, exercising, creating, mastering a craft, investing in your personal growth, these activities create satisfaction without regret. Over time, they crowd out the need for impulsive, emotional spending because they fulfill you in a deeper, healthier way. When all these changes begin to weave themselves into your daily life, something remarkable happens. You start to feel more stable, more capable, more grounded. Your confidence returns. Your decisions become intentional rather than reactive. You see your money differently because you see yourself differently. In the end, the truth becomes clear: you never had a money problem. You had a character pattern. And patterns can be rewritten. The version of you who handles money with strength, clarity, and purpose is not far away. It is already inside you, waiting for the moment you choose to live from your future rather than your impulses. Your character shapes your money, and when your character evolves, your life follows. If this message resonated with you, if it brought you clarity or comfort or a sense of possibility, I invite you to stay connected. This channel is a space for understanding yourself, building discipline, and transforming your habits in ways that reshape your entire life. If you want to continue this journey of personal growth, make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you never miss the insights that can help you become the person you are meant to be. Together, gently and consistently, we will not only build a better relationship with money, we will build a stronger, wiser, and more intentional version of you.